How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? This is the Jose Show. I hope that everyone is enjoying their lovely day. But anyways, let's get into the hot topic, shall we? Now talk about Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly. So Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly are gonna be parents. Alright, so Fox is pregnant with her and Kelly's first child together. The actress shared the news by posting a photo of herself naked and covered in black liquid on Instagram. The second slide of her post included a positive pregnancy test. She wrote, "Nothing is ever really lost. Welcome back." Alright, so Fox has 3 children with her ex-husband Brian Austin Green, Noah 12, Bodhi 10, and Journey 8. Kelly has one daughter, 15-year-old Casey. So Fox and Kelly's 4-year romance has had its ups and downs. In May of 2024, Entertainment Tonight reported they were working on the relationship after Fox revealed in March that they had previously called off their engagement. So the source explained they are continuing to go to therapy, be fully transparent with each other about their feelings, and have consistent communication. They have dealt with some trust issues, but are both making a continual effort to stay committed to their mutual end goal of being together forever. They are also respecting each other's space when needed, which is key for them during this time. All right. So this is a rainbow baby for the couple, as Fox also suffered a miscarriage with Kelly. She told WWD last November that the experience was so much harder than I would have anticipated it being, and I've really analyzed why was that so difficult for me, because when I was younger I had an ectopic pregnancy. I had other things that I'm not going to say because God forbid the world will be in an uproar, but I've been through other similar issues, but not with someone who I was so in love with. All right, so anyways, this is really intense and this is really cool what I'm hearing here, that Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox are expecting their first child together, because I think that now that they're expecting their first child together, that is going to unite them as a relationship even more, because I believe that when a baby comes into this world, it really motivates the couple to improve, and it really motivates the couple to help each other out, especially because a baby is in the world. So anywho, I also believe that since these two really have been going at it for the past 4 years in the relationship, I can tell that this relationship is definitely here to stay, because if the both of them really were not about having that good relationship, then the both of them would have broken up a long time ago. But hey, I believe that these two really are smart enough into attending therapy after all, because I believe that the therapy has really been working them out, definitely, since the both of them are still together. And let's also remember too that these two really are a really good example on how a relationship should be after all. So that's another thing. But anywho, I really think that Megan Fox is going to have to take care of herself now that she is pregnant, because, a pregnancy I can already imagine is really tough, especially when it comes to a miscarriage going on during a pregnancy, because, miscarriages, I can already imagine that not only are they very painful, but also they are very painful emotionally, especially. And that's just what I personally think here. And let's also remember that Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox, they really have to focus on really bettering up the relationship if they really want to better up the relationship. Because, I already heard a bunch of bad stuff about them in the past, that they were having horrible arguments, horrible disagreements. They were having, horrible just enemy relationship in between the both of them, and it really, to me, was just very saddening to hear. I even remember that back in the past, things were just so bad to the point that the both of them literally seemed like they weren't wanting to be in a relationship anymore. And I can already imagine that it already affected Machine Gun Kelly's child, and it affected Megan Fox's children, especially because of both of them, because both of their children were already experiencing all of that. And children, have the mind of sponges, especially. So, that's even worse. So, anywho, I personally believe that now God does things for a reason, and God was all like, you know what? We are going to be bettering up this relationship by bringing them a child, because I'm pretty sure that way things will actually calm down in between the both of them, and things will be happier in between the both of them and the end. I think that that's how things are going on here in between Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox. But amen to the both of them, and I really do congratulate the both of them on the coming of their baby. Now on to the next topic. Now let's talk about Martha Stewart, shall we? So Martha Stewart is clearly not a fan of Drew Barrymore's touchy-feely interview style, pushing away the talk show host during their awkward sit-down. Okay, so check it out. Drew sits awfully close to the lifestyle guru and asks Martha if anything makes her feel soft and gooey, leaving Martha Stewart a little perplexed by the question. As Martha thinks about her answer, Drew suggestively touches her mouth, prompting her guest to respond, "Soft and gooey treatment, it's nice." Okay, so anywho, the encounter on Tuesday's show gets a bit more uncomfortable. However, in the video, as Drew ends up stroking Martha's arm in an attempt to get her guest to open up more. Okay, so the gesture doesn't work though. With a nod toward the audience, Martha pushes Drew away and tells the actress she's the wrong gender, making it clear her charms are lost on her, though they both share a laugh. Okay, so this isn't the first time Drew has gotten a little too close for comfort with guests. Back in December, Drew faced backlash for getting too touchy with Oprah Winfrey, awkwardly caressing the talk show legend's hands during the interview. Okay, so though Oprah later defended Drew to TMZ, calling the scream start endearing at the time. So this is really weird and awkward at the same time. I mean, I personally do understand as to why Drew Barrymore was getting a little bit too touchy with the one and only Martha Stewart, because, you know, Drew Barrymore is very kind and sweet, and she just wants to make her guests feel welcomed. But the thing is that there is a line that we should not pass, especially when it comes to talking to guests. And I believe that Drew Barrymore did go over that line. And I do believe that Drew Barrymore should have definitely thought about it before doing what she did, especially when it comes to the one and only Martha Stewart. I do think too that Drew Barrymore, of course, might be regretful about the whole entire situation because of the way Martha responded to how touchy Drew Barrymore was towards Martha Stewart. And honestly, I do think that, you know, Drew Barrymore might have learned a lesson out of all of this after all, which is a good thing. But yeah, I do think though that things did turn out to be well in between Drew Barrymore and Martha Stewart after all, especially because I do believe that Martha Stewart still stood in the show talking to Drew Barrymore, and that the both of them were still, you know, behaving like friends, and they were still behaving like adults especially, and nobody got to walk out of the room, and, you know, it was what it was. Because if things would have still been bad in between, Drew Barrymore and Martha Stewart, then chances are that Martha Stewart would have been like, you know what, enough is enough, I'm out of here, and then it would have been a very awkward situation for the poor Drew Barrymore. So anywho, yeah, so Drew Barrymore, just be careful, you know. I mean, we love to be caressed, we love to be hugged, but we do not like to be touched too much, you know, because when it comes to being touched, especially too much, that's when you get that sexual feeling. That's when you get that feeling that the person wants to conquer you in a very sexual way. And I'm sure that, by the way, that's what Martha Stewart was feeling after all, and she was like, oh hell no, no way, Jose. That's what I think. So anywho, on to the next topic. Now, let's talk about Jessica Simpson, shall we? So, two people directly connected to Jessica Simpson have spoken with two divorce lawyers in the last 2 months, specifically about Jessica's marriage to Eric Johnson, TMZ has learned. Sources with direct knowledge tell TMZ late last month someone close to Jessica went to a Los Angeles divorce attorney and said Jessica was unhappy in her marriage and wanted to arrange a meeting with the attorney and Simpson. We do not know if this was done at Jessica's behest, but we're told the message to the lawyer was clear. And TMZ was also told up to this point, Jessica has not made contact with the lawyer. Okay, so, and we've learned someone on Jessica's team made contact with another Los Angeles divorce lawyer regarding matters that were divorce related. Again, so far we're told there has been no follow through. Okay, so Jessica and Eric have been married for 10 years and have 3 children. Okay, so this is really outrageous what I'm hearing here. I believe that if Jessica Simpson and Eric Johnson are really divorcing, then that is so freaking sad, not just for the both of them, but also for the kids, because the kids are going to be witnessing just so much heartbreak, so much betrayal, so much unhappiness because of the fact that their parents are no longer together. But I think it's so shocking though that Jessica Simpson is divorcing Eric Johnson, because I thought that Eric Johnson was definitely the one for Jessica Simpson after all. Because let's remember that Jessica Simpson divorced Nick Lachey 18 years ago because of the fact that the both of them had irreconcilable differences, and the both of them were just not happy with each other after all. And then Jessica was all like, you know what, I'm gonna take a break from marriages, from dating men, and I'm gonna have some time for myself. And then later on was when Jessica Simpson ended up meeting Eric Johnson, and then the both of them got married, and then the both of them ended up having 3 kids together. So I don't know, man. I kind of sense that if things are really down south and between Jessica Simpson and Eric Johnson, then I personally believe it's because Jessica Simpson has been too busy with her music career, and she's been too busy, you know, focusing on her image, focusing on her publicity and this and that, because you know that when things get in the way, things get in the way, especially because Jessica Simpson, as we all know, she's pretty well known. And then as for Eric Johnson, he might have been like, oh my god, I deserve better than this, I deserve more attention, I deserve more love, and this and that. And then Jessica was all like, you know what, honey, I can't do this anymore, we have to divorce and we have to move on with our own damn lives, either you like it or not. I think that's what might have happened. I'm just guessing, I'm not confirming anything. But one thing's for sure though, is that since these two are going to be divorcing, maybe if they are really divorcing, then I think that, you know, they're going to have some legal custody of the kids, either joint custody, or one of them is going to have the full custody or the majority custody, in my personal opinion, because these kids are underage. So there's also that. But anyways, good luck to these two. Good luck to these two. Now, on to the next topic. Now, let's talk about The View, shall we? So, it's been nearly 1 week since Donald Trump won the presidential election, and now with the holidays approaching, many Americans will likely have to decide whether or not they will put politics aside this Thanksgiving or cut off relatives who voted for another candidate. So, The View discussed this topic on Tuesday's new episode, with Whoopi Goldberg and Sunny Hostin disagreeing with their co-hosts Anna Navarro, Sarah Haynes, and Alyssa Farah Griffin. Goldberg brought up the question of whether or not people should distance themselves from relatives who voted for Trump during the holidays by sharing a clip of a Yale psychiatrist saying some people should do just that. Okay, so anyways, Navarro weighed in first, saying, I think everybody needs to do what's right for them. I think you need to look into yourself, and if going to a family gathering or with friends, whether it's going to stress you out, then don't go. Okay, so then she noted that her husband Al's children voted for Trump, and he has 13 grandchildren that he refuses not to see and will see them come hell or high water. That's what she said. So he has told them, I will not let politics split up our family, she added. So Farah Griffin chimed in, saying that she's all for healthy boundaries, but believes mashed potatoes are the great equalizer. You don't want to spend Thanksgiving by yourself because you can't put politics aside, she explained. I find that every day and every job I've worked in and social circles I've run in, I've been around people with different politics than me, and it's never gotten in the way of having friendships with them. Okay. So, I wouldn't have had any friends, she jokingly added, to which Haynes said, I wouldn't have had any holidays if I had to only pick the ones where everyone agreed with me. Okay, so anywho, basically the ladies here of The View were having a huge discussion about putting politics aside when it comes to Thanksgiving, and I believe that when it comes to gatherings, especially Thanksgiving gatherings, I think that it is really important having to put politics aside, because here's the thing, we are all different. We all have different views. We all have different opinions. And of course, we all voted differently. And by differently, we all voted for either Trump or for Harris. And I feel like if we go off and talk about politics, especially when it comes to gatherings like these, what's going to happen is that it's going to divide the family or the get-together in general, and it's going to cause a major frenzy. It's going to cause a major blowout, because one thing is that a lot of people tend to get so sensitive and they tend to get so emotional about accepting the fact that their friend or their cousin or their uncle or whoever got to vote for the opposite candidate while that person got to vote for their candidate, instead of being mutual in that situation. And then there goes the disagreeing, there goes the he said she said, there goes the oh my god, how could you, oh my god, you're evil, how dare you. And it's just not good at all, you know. I believe that we as a nation and we as a world especially, we need to get together and get along with each other and be nice to each other regardless of our differences and regardless of our political differences especially, because at the end of the day we are all people with differences. We are all people that has been created differently by God. So there's that. So we need to stop being so immature when it comes to people's political differences. And guess what? That's the reason to why a lot of people these days don't really say who they voted for, and they don't really say what political party they're a part of, because of judgmental people that go off and go after you because you voted or because you're of a part of a certain political party. So there's also that. So anyways, we got to be better up with this situation, people. We got to better up, man. We can't go down to the freaking hole. I mean, Trump won, and of course I'm not happy about the whole entire situation, and of course a lot of us are not happy about the whole entire situation, but I mean, there's nothing that we can do about it after all but to just pray for our country and, you know, just wish for the best for the future. And that's all I have to say. You know, that's all I have to say, man. We can't be in a situation too where, you know, we're going to be throwing mashed potatoes at each other and we're going to be throwing turkey at each other and then beans at each other, all because we support opposite candidates, you know. Like, that's not how it should be, you know. And I mean, if that were to even happen, then hey, that would be a waste of food right there, and that would be a waste of freaking money right there. Really. So anywho, we have to think smarter. We have to be smarter as a nation, as a world. And that is all I have to say, okay? But anywho, that is it for today's show, ladies and gentlemen. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's beautiful episode of The Jose Show. Till next time, and peace.